Hello, I'm Ken Burrell from
the PMO Professionals.
This is one of a series of videos expanding on the Success Stories Shared initiative that was started in South Africa by Linky van der Merwe of Virtual Project Consulting and Louise Worsley of PyCubed, and which has their enthusiastic support. Aldous Huxley said that men do not learn very much from the lessons of history is the most important of all the lessons of history. Project management research has shown that project managers prefer to learn by face-to-face interaction rather than by searching through lessons learned databases. I think that project managers can learn a lot from each other's success stories and also from sharing their scars. So as part of my campaign for real project managers, on your behalf, I'm talking to some real project managers I've had the pleasure of working alongside so that you can benefit from their experience. Today, I'm delighted to have with me Martin DOWSETT, who's going to share some of his experiences with us. Hello Martin. I'd like you to start, if you can, by introducing yourself and giving us a flavour of your background and how you got into project management.
My career started off in architecture way back in 1979. So I spent 15 to 20 years in architecture interior design as a technician, and then progressed into internal change management with clients in the mid-90s when computers started coming out. Been doing projects since 98 when I joined ABN AMRO on their main fit out of 250 Bishopsgate. So migrated into project management quite naturally via trading floors, getting into main fit out and construction. Now working on major fit outs for clients, doing internal fit out and design change. Currently working for ASOS on a £30 million fit out of their headquarters, and just completed their customer care centre in Watford. Previous experiences working for Amel Insurance, moving them into the Leadenhall building in the city, and prior to that Alzheimer's, a charity, moving from St Catherine's Dock into Fenchurch Street, which was a £3 million project.
Can you give us an example of some experience from a project that was particularly complex or challenging, or something that went wrong, and what you learned from it?
Talking about the Alzheimer's project, they were in an existing building, St Catherine's Dock. Their lease was expiring and they had to move to a new building, which was Fenchurch Street. I come on board the project probably halfway through, just before the tender stage, as a lead project manager. One of the current issues for them was their budget. They had a strict £3 million budget for everything on the fit out and move. When I come on board, they were circa 400,000 over budget. One of the issues was that when they prepared the budget, that they had costed it on a square foot basis using a comparison cost per square foot, but that was a net price, not including VAT, and charities don't charge VAT, so immediately their budget was blown from the start. My action on that was to gather together the professional team and the lead designer and go through the design and specification of the fit out to identify savings and value engineering throughout the whole job.
So how did you do that?
It was a root and branch, detailed examination of the drawings, the specification and the actual design of the fit out.
Okay, so based on that experience, what would you recommend that others do in your position?
The experience that I gather from that is that on the initial project phase or startup, the professional or lead designer gives you a vision, but there's no indication of value or cost to that vision, and that only comes out once you get into the tender stage, and then the surprises come out on that. What I'd recommend is putting a standard to the design, so a gold, a silver, a bronze standard. At Alzheimer's, I would say we were more of the tin standard, so a very low spec, as you would represent with the charity.
Is that something that you could transfer to other projects, not just construction?
Probably to most projects, yes. To give the professional team a clear understanding of what the expectations are for the client or the organisation, especially on the cost basis.
So it sounds like what you're doing there is giving the client options so that they can choose according to their budget and their situation.
What we also created strap lines for the professional team, a clear understanding of where the charity sits within their budget. So you have the cost model of the gold, silver, bronze, but also we gave them that we wanted the design to be like for like, charity appropriate, and no exposés by the Daily Mail. So we didn't want a whistleblower coming along telling the Daily Mail that we'd installed a £600 light fitting, which would be bad reputation for their donations.
So it sounds to me those strap lines are like guiding principles so that you can direct the way that the project's going.
Guiding rules and parameters that they can focus on.
Okay, so that was a scar, something that went wrong and that you turned around. How about success stories? Do you have any things that you do on most projects that you believe are key to success and that you'd recommend other people do?
So within the construction fit-out world, working with clients, the professional team, I think they focus on the end state of the project, i.e. the fit-out is complete, client moves in. For the client, there's a lot of preparation work to do for once that floor is mobilised. So preparation in getting the facilities correct, the space correct, making sure that the floor is ready for operational use for the staff and departments moving in. What I normally do on that is prepare and mobilisation planning. I use an aide memoire to go through a list of key actions and protocols that you need to set up before you move in. This normally then triggers off mini projects within the internal project team to prepare for our day one move in.
So I think what you're saying is that you don't just want to focus on the main deliverable, but you also need to make sure that all the services and support around it is set up and ready to go.
Yeah, the focus of the construction project team is the end state of the practical completion, the handover. That building then has to function for the client for the next 15 to 20 years.
Martin, thanks for sharing your experiences with us. So today we heard from Martin about how he's recovered from a situation that went wrong, and also about things that he does that help things to work well. Anton Chekhov said, "Knowledge is of no value unless you put it into practice." I believe the value of learning comes not just from documenting the past, but from changing what we do in the future. So my challenge to you is this: what can you learn from this? What will you do differently in your projects as a result of Martin's experiences? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and found it stimulating, please leave a comment or a like or both, or share it with others on social media. If you think these videos are useful and interesting, let me know and I'll make more of them. And if you want to appear in one of them, let me know. For other videos on project management topics, take a look at my video channel. For articles on project management and PMO topics, visit my website,
the PMO Professionals.com.
To connect with me more personally, search LinkedIn for Ken Burrell,
the PMO Professionals.
In the meantime, until the next time, thanks for watching.